Hi, everyone. Hello. Thank you for joining us today. Welcome for our exclusive webinar. I guess we need a few seconds for everyone to connect. It's a pleasure to have all of you there. So I remind you that our main topic of our webinar is 5 steps to create a profitable Web3 business. Meanwhile, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Daria Listenko. I'm thrilled to be a moderator for this session and be a part of our conversation. I'm a senior lawyer at SBSB FinTech Lawyers. We have more than 11 years of experience in fintech, crypto, iGaming, and investment fields. And I specialized in full legal support of crypto projects. So today we are excited to dive into the world of Web3 and explore the essential steps to building a business that thrives in this innovative space. So over the next 2 hours, our speakers will guide you through the strategies and key insights in this field. So a few words why we are here. First of all, what is Web3? As you probably know, Web3 is the next generation of the internet built on blockchain, cryptocurrencies, and the principle of decentralization. Web3 represents the next phase of the internet, and it is decentralized by design, using blockchain technology to give users more control over their data and online interactions. Today we'll talk a lot with our speakers about Web3 projects, what it is. Web3 project is a decentralized platform or service or application built on blockchain technology. And unlike traditional Web2 services, they rely on decentralized network where no single party has control. So these projects aim to remove intermediaries and return control to users and establish trust through the transparency. And nowadays, this topic becomes more and more popular. And just one fact from statistics, I guess one of the most significant to be aware, that the global Web3 market was valued at almost 5 billion in American dollars in 2025, and it's expected to grow to roughly 66 billion American dollars by 2032. So this incredible growth will be driven largely by advancements in machine learning and artificial intelligence, which are making Web3 applications more smart, fast, and more secure. So whether you are just beginning your Web3 journey or you're looking for scaling an existing project, you are in the right place today. As for our agenda, we have 2 hours and 7 speakers. I guess each topic will take up to 15 minutes today. I would like to remind you our topics that will be discussed. So we'll discuss how to start Web3 project, a little bit about main steps and architecture. Also, we'll discuss artificial intelligence and Web3. The next one will be the topic about DAO project, building, managing, and scaling decentralized autonomous organizations. Next one will be the road to mass adoption and what we need to mainstream Web3 payments. Also, we have another topic about Web3 payments from our other exciting speaker. So you'll check it out. Next one, we'll talk about play to earn and GameFi in the context of Web3. And the last one topic will be regarding intellectual property protection of the Web3 projects. You are welcome to ask your questions using our online chat. And also, we received some questions during your registration. So we'll discuss them, and I hope we also have enough time for a general Q&A section at the end of our webinar. I will keep track of all the time, and I hope we'll get it all done. Anyway, we also will send the recording of this webinar after it, I guess, tomorrow. And if you didn't register, you can also contact us using the contact button, and we will send you the recording as well. And also, we will send you contacts of all of our speakers. And if you want some kind of consultation, advice, etc., you will also have the possibility to text them or call or how you want to be connected. So let's get started. I'm excited to introduce our first speaker today, Bartolomei Riba. Hello.
Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Hello. Nice to meet you. Thank you for joining us today. Bartolomei is a co-founder and CTO of the Developers. He has a great experience in development systems from core protocols to end user interfaces, and he will talk about architectural aspects of building Web3 projects today. So let's give a warm welcome to Bartolomei.
Okay, thank you, Daria, for the introduction. Let me share my screen so you can see the presentation. All right.
Yeah.
Can you see it?
Yeah, thank you.
Great,
Thank
great.
you.
All right. Yeah, okay. So as Daria said, I'm Bartłomiej Ryba, co-founder of Developers, and today I would like to introduce you to the topic of building in Web3, specifically on how to start and to go with you all through technical aspects of launching a Web3 project. And yeah, so before we start and dive into the specifics, let me introduce myself and the company I'm representing. So as I said, I'm the co-founder and CTO of Developers. We are a team of senior experts with over 10 years of experience, mostly in Web3. We also develop Web2 applications, but our main focus goes to the decentralized world most of the times. We build stuff from products from the ground protocol through the backends, setting up infrastructure, maintaining and supporting infrastructure, as well as developing frontends. And well, we also have a team of the UX, UI designers who are helping us serve users best experience. So yeah, that's about the company and myself. Let's dive to the topic. Before we go to the first part, where we're going to discuss architectures and differences between architectures of Web2 and Web3 applications, let's just remind ourselves about core definitions so everyone is on the same page. So the smart contract, the centralized application, and the blockchain indexer. Smart contract is basically a piece of software that runs on chain and executes actions based on the inputs it's being given. It works in a manner where everything is recorded on chain. So yeah, that would be it about the smart contract in a very short words. Then we have the centralized application, aka DApp. These applications are basically more extended pieces of software that interact with smart contracts and allow us to give users direct interaction with the blockchain. Then we have the backbone of most of the Web3 applications, which are blockchain indexers. They are always, maybe not always, but very often forgotten when talking about a Web3 world. Blockchain indexers are tools that allows us to synchronize data from the blockchain in order to expose this data later to the front end, where the end users want to know information about what happened on chain in a quick manner. So they don't want to wait minutes for the information to appear. They want to have it in seconds. They want to have it live. So this is where blockchain indexers allow us to easily get that information quickly and also scale it fast. So later, when the user base grows, we can easily serve everyone best UX possible. Okay, so what is the actual difference between Web2 application and Web3 application? In Web2 world, here we have a very simple example. This kind of schemas are all over the world of the internet. I allowed myself to introduce the most simple one I could think of, where the end user is on the left side. Then we have the front end, where the user is interacting with something. And then we have some backend systems that are moving data around, usually the persistent store, usually called database. So, of course, in the Web2 world, this is just the basic that we can see, but there are more and more complex systems like that. But just for the sake of the example, this is one of like the core we can think of here. So, looking at the Web3 architecture, there are crucial components that need to be there in order for the centralized app to be interacting with the blockchain. What are those components? As you can see, we have the front end, but there is no more backend here. There is no more database here. Well, there is per se, but let's not get into the too much details yet. So we have a wallet that is crucial for the end user to have. So the wallet has our is basically our private key that allows us to allows us to store funds, which later allow us to interact with the smart contracts or the blockchain itself. We have a blockchain provider, basically RPC node usually, with which the front end talks directly, and that node provider is kind of an interface that allows us to talk to the blockchain itself or to the smart contract as well. Here, the block of the smart contract could be erased and we could basically talk to the blockchain directly. The smart contract basically lives on the blockchain. However, I wanted to show that there is this piece that we are talking to. And in case of dApps, well, that's mostly the case where we are interacting with some logic that is going to be executed on chain. Later, after our signature is set, our transaction is sent. So whenever this happens, the logic is triggered on the smart contract, and the blockchain basically proves on the blockchain, and that's basically proves that the action was performed. So now this is the very simple one where we basically have only pure interaction with the smart contract, and that's basically it. We can consider that front end fetches data from the state chain, but it's not always the case, and it's not always the case in the production systems, especially when it comes to the matter of scalability, where we need to serve a lot of users data that is happening on chain. And here we have another example that is extended comparing to the previous one. So we have our user that is interacting with the wallet through the front end. The request goes through the provider. Request triggers some action on the smart contract, and then it basically, it basically lives on chain now. When the smart contract is triggering some action, it usually emits an event, and that event also is on the blockchain. But now, to be aware that this event actually happened, we can query the blockchain, or we can set up a blockchain indexer that allows us to synchronize what happened on chain, save this data in some database, and then our front end no longer has to talk to the blockchain directly to get the information about something happening. It is enough for the front end to query some API that is usually shared by the indexer to get that info to the front end. This is a little bit extended example where we are talking to the blockchain indexer to fetch the data on what happened on chain. But let's look at the actual example that is usually used in the Web3 applications that serve a lot of users. So in this case, we can see that there are many more blocks, not too many, but still there are pieces of the infrastructure that need to be there. So going through our previous logic, we have a user who, let's say, buys an NFT. The transaction is sent along with the funds of the user. The smart contract triggers the action of buying that NFT, emits the event that someone bought the NFT on the blockchain. And now what is happening? Our blockchain indexer syncs the data into the database, exposes it through the API, and well, the blockchain indexer has usually limitations, and that limitations force us to introduce another pieces of the infrastructure that would not be needed otherwise. And those pieces of the infrastructure are usually some backends that are so basically services that monitor what is the state of the blockchain indexer. And whenever there's information they are interested in regarding our product, which is in this case buying the specific NFT, they are allowing us to take this information, put it in our store, in the store of our project, on the database of our project, where our data is engineered the way we want it to be engineered, the way we are serving it easily to the front end and other products for our clients. And having that in place in this persistent store, our front end can communicate with some interface. Yeah, I mean, we call it backend here, and it's basically how the thing is usually engineered. What it gives us in the previous example, we had direct communication with the blockchain indexer, or in the other example, there was direct communication with the blockchain. Here, because we introduced those three additional pieces, we allow ourselves with a lot of space for scalability. We can introduce in between these two pieces. We can introduce load balancers. We can scale the backends to it more efficiently serve the data. We can introduce caching layers, stuff like that. That allows the users to see their actions that they did on chain in milliseconds, other than waiting for many requests to be queued and returned from the blockchain directly. So I think that would be it about the comparison between Web2 and Web3. As you can see, there are different pieces in both scenarios that need to happen, and the more scalability we need to support, the more pieces there should be. Of course, there are some things that can happen where we won't need that additional piece below where there's indexer monitoring, persistent store backend. We can talk directly to the blockchain indexer, but those are specific cases, and all are dependent on the product and the user base we're trying to accomplish. Okay, so a little bit more about the indexers themselves, because they are often forgotten and they are very often used. So there are three types of them. There are commercial ones that allows us to basically go to some provider like Moralis, Alchemy, or Infora. These are the most known ones. They allow us to go there, connect our credit card and use their APIs to fetch the information. And in most cases, they are more than enough. They serve what we need. However, it's not always, unfortunately, the case. When we are developing our own chain, which is most of the cases where we need to introduce something custom, we need to work on the indexer ourselves. There are providers, but those providers need to support our chain. Because those providers are not supporting every chain by default, then we need to work on something very custom. And also, depending on the network, on the type of the protocol, this solution is usually put in place. But not always. As I said, in most of the cases, the commercial ones are enough, or the open source ones are also fine. They also support a lot of networks. In the projects also that we develop, we always use the open source ones. Very rarely commercial ones, because they are working great. And here I just wanted to show you the examples of these projects that allow us to index data from the blockchain. Okay, let's get to the next chapter, where we have integrating Web3 into Web2 world. So here I would like to shortly introduce you to the tools that help with the adoption of your products. Whenever you want to build a Web3 product, there are tools that allow you to introduce something that will help your product to grow and grow the user base, especially that Web3 is not that commonly used among users all over the world. So already we have a lot of tooling that helps us give this adoption, bring this adoption to another level. For example, we have account abstraction on the EVM chains, for example. I mean, there are other chains as well. And that account abstraction basically allows us to introduce our Web3 product, having not only connect MetaMask button or connect Web3 wallet button, but also so we can introduce users so they can log in with their email, with their phone number, with their socials. And under their email or their socials, there is generated a private key that still the user is owner of, but the user no longer has to remember all of those 12, 24 words just to remember what is their private key. In this case, they just use one of the providers that provide the account abstraction. They use their email to register to our application, and having that, they can easily interact with the services that our product is providing. Then we have in-app swaps. What that basically means, if we have a token of some sort and we want the users to use specific token on the platform, we can introduce in-app swaps where inside our application, having account abstraction, users just swap, so exchange basically tokens for the token we want, and vice versa. Then we have gas sponsoring. So whenever we have a user coming from Web2 world, they don't really they don't really understand, and this is totally fine because this is a new specificity of the product, that any action performed that creates a right action on the blockchain needs to comes with the need to sign and send the transaction, and this needs to be paid for. So in order for us to not have to explain the user or to even force the user to buy the token that pays for the transaction, we can introduce gas sponsoring that allows us to us as a provider or as the creators of the product to pay for the gas for the users. What it means that there are providers where we can connect our credit card, implement their SDKs on our website, on our product. And whenever someone is sending a transaction, performing a swap, buying something, doing any interaction with the smart contract that needs to be paid for, this gas is sponsored from our credit card, from the provider where we set up the gas sponsoring. There we have on-ramping and off-ramping. On-ramping means that we can buy specific tokens on our platform already if they are also supported by the providers commonly used all over the world. And off-ramping means that we can take the tokens we have and off-ramp them to usually to the fiat, where we can move the funds to the banks. Okay, so let's go further. There are many examples I could introduce here. But I'm not sure how we are with timing. So
Bartolome, we have only a few minutes left, and I wanted to ask you a question from the audience. So I guess a few minutes, and if you can, please end their presentation because we need to move on.
Give me 1 minute because there's just the slide and the next one, and that's it.
Of course, yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, so as I said, I could talk a lot about examples here, so I'm just showing the slide right now. One of the examples I can very briefly introduce is, for example, smart legal contracts with dynamic compliance. Everything that is legally done on paper could be put on the smart contract and easily moved. That logic can be easily moved digitally. So we have all the proofs, all the requirements that need to be satisfied legally on the paper, they are satisfied on chain. That's just one of the examples. As I said, you will have the presentation later to read about them. And the last topic that I will just briefly summarize, to secure our application, we should audit the contracts that we have. Auditing means detecting vulnerabilities. It means preventing financial losses, potential losses. It means building user and investor trust, which is very important. Showing on our product that our contracts were audited gives users this assurance that someone checked the work that is there, and someone gave a badge that it is safe. And the last one is compliance with best practices. When auditors come in, they can enforce some best practices if they are not found on the contract. So that's another reason to audit the contracts. All right, so thank you very much for your time. And yeah, please ask any questions if you
Thank
have
you,
any.
Bartolome. Thank you. Very interesting. I'm really so far from this development things, but thank you for the explanations. And I guess it was very interesting for our participants. And we have a few questions, and I want to ask only one because we don't have a lot of time. So the question is, what are the common mistakes team make when developing decentralized applications? So what are the most popular and what they need to consider? Mistakes.
Yeah, sorry, I was looking for just closing windows. What are the most popular mistakes when developing Web3 applications?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, first of all, not thinking about the scalability in the long run. And if we have a lot of users and we try to query the blockchain directly, and we don't set up an indexer of any sort, and we don't have infrastructure predicted for that matter, this is usually where we hit the bottleneck. Also, node providers have their own rate limits, and then it's just a messy road to get out of it. I mean, it's easy to get out of it, but when we have a product in production, I mean, it's always this time that we need to spend to actually do things right, rather than just put the product there to be there. So I think that's most common one, and yeah. I would just say that this the first one. I don't want to take too much of the time. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I guess our participants can get in touch with you, and you will tell them in more detail if then they want to launch their own Web3 projects and develop it. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I guess now we can move on to our next speaker. Here's Emmanuel Machaya, Director of Cloud and AI Enterprise Sales at Influx Technologies. Now he helps enterprise clients across the United Kingdom and Europe unlock the potential of artificial intelligence. And I guess it's very cutting edge technology for now, and there are a lot of interesting points that we can discuss today. Hello, Emmanuel.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much, Dara, for that very kind
Good
and
afternoon.
generous introduction. I hope you can hear me okay.
Yeah, everything is fine. You can
Awesome.
share your screen and
Absolutely.
move on.
No worries. So we'll get started on this. There we go. Just tell me when you can see my screen.
1 second. Yeah, it's okay. Okay.
Awesome. So yes, I think as Daria mentioned, the area I really specialize in at Influx is on helping sort of enterprise clients and
Emmanuel, sorry, we can't see you, but we see your presentation.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
Yes, it's
I'll
okay?
continue. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
So yes, the area we mostly specialize in at Influx is we're really building a decentralized cloud infrastructure. That's both for CPU compute and GPU compute, in order to have that infrastructure foundation layer for the next wave, of technology, right, in terms of Web3 and as well as AI. And so what I'll be really focusing on in my presentation today is looking at those key components that are required to then build these next layer of applications, for the 4.8 billion Web2 users that are currently out there in the globe. Now, so to sort of look at this, I always like to start with sort of a basic industry scope, right, where we look at what does sort of particularly cloud compute look like at the moment. You've got 65% of all sort of IT infrastructure running on these top sort of major three providers, being AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud. And that's been okay for some time, because I think alternatively, really, there hasn't been much of an option for businesses and organizations out there. And it also has come with its challenges, right? When you look at the rising cost of cloud compute in itself, that stifles growth and innovation, right? For any startups out there looking to develop new applications and then start to scale them as you get, more market adoption. the cost of computing itself can be a massive deterrent on that ability to scale and get your product out into the world. Security breaches, right? Where when you've got these much larger sort of warehouses distributed across the globe, very centralized. If one of those gets attacked and you have an application that's running within that sort of cloud environment, then you experience a lot of downtime, right, because of those security breaches. And this is something that a lot of startups should really be thinking about. Again, as you begin to scale right now, there's a lot of denial of service attacks that are very prevalent, right? So the cybersecurity industry is really trying to do as best as it can to try and help and assist, projects and applications running on top of this digital layer. And so one of the challenges, of course, with centralized data cloud providers is the risk of security breaches. The complexity itself with the pricing of those providers can be, again, another deterring factor when you've paid for a certain amount of, I don't know, credits or AWS credits, but then you've used more than you'd paid for, and then you get the bill at the end of the year or whatever it is. That can also really cut an entire startup's business and ambitions in growing and sort of expanding and scaling. And another thing that's quite important, actually, which I think a lot of businesses don't tend to think about, is access to those specialized experts within those institutions, right? That is key. I think, again, as you're starting up and you're looking to scale your product, you want that direct communication line with whoever's providing that infrastructure of your application. And sometimes that could be a challenge with a lot of these guys. They give you these credits, but sometimes in terms of that more direct interaction, it's almost a case of good luck at that point. And so if you face challenges, it can be quite difficult. And so it's off the back of this that we've seen this massive explosion of, decentralized applications or decentralized physical infrastructure projects, looking at different areas, right, in terms of application and data. You've got energy networks now, you've got compute and physical networks. Ourselves at Influx, we're a compute network organization, as I mentioned previously, with our cloud infrastructure and our compute infrastructure. And we're orchestrating that. Our CPU or cloud infrastructure is running on top of the Flux blockchain, where you've got providers of those nodes being rewarded by the blockchain, right, for their contribution in terms of the compute they're contributing. And so what are one of the key benefits, and why should any startup that's listening in here be looking at leveraging this new approach to computing? It's control and ownership, first and foremost, right? It's that ability to deploy your application and have direct control and access to it, and to certainly feel like you have, certain level of directiveness on whatever it is you're building. Innovation and competition, right? As we're able to, for ourselves at Influx, lower the cost of computing in comparison to your AWS and Google Clouds, it increases that competition, right? Because more people are able to come into the space and develop and create these different applications. It's much more cost effective. Security and privacy, right, with that decentralization, where you've got multiple node providers across the globe with ourselves. If you deploy an application on top of Flux Cloud, it comes with 3 instances standard. So you've got that triple redundancy standard. You don't have to pay any extra money for that, right? Whereas, when you are using these more centralized providers, for an extra instance, there comes a cost with that. And so that ability to have those 3 instances is huge. Downtime for whether it's a startup or an established organization, any downtime is devastating, right? A minute's worth of downtime because your end customers can't access whatever services you're providing, with your application or your platforms. And that, ruins your reputation across the entire market, right? And your competitors then have something they can leverage to showcase to say, hey, look, we're better than so-and-so because our application is up 99% of the time, right? And so it's very crucial. Self-custody and portability, that ability to then deploy your applications in other regions as you scale is fundamental and it's crucial to any startup. And so just to give you a bit of a scope of what our cloud infrastructure looks like at Influx, the foundation layer, we believe, for the next generation of our applications. We've got 13,000 node providers across the globe, 74, I think it's almost up to 78 different sort of geographic locations right now, and that number continues to scale. And And these are some of the, again, going further into some of the key benefits of that infrastructure, right? Security, features, redundancy, as I've mentioned, affordability, and just that ability to be interoperable, right? So if you can containerize it or Dockerize it, you can run it on Flux. That's a unique advantage with us, where you can just simply deploy that within a few clicks. And it's beyond this sort of this cloud infrastructure that we've really looked at, okay, how can we encourage or assist the next generation of startups and businesses, again, who are existing clients of these centralized providers? How do we bring them into the fold? For ourselves, we created this sort of funnel, which enables a natural progression to then be able to adopt those different areas within our technology stack. So when we're looking at our cloud infrastructure and our storage provisioning, we have our consultancy and enterprise support, which is key for any startup, right? If you want to utilize our services, you need to know how to use this stuff. We really make an effort in helping startups and other established organizations to adopt and understand Flux OS and our decentralized storage, and then again be able to then deploy their applications or web hosting servers, gaming servers. We're working with one of the top 100 gaming companies in the world. I'd almost say top 10, who are actively testing out our cloud infrastructure and deploying that, because as I mentioned, that redundancy is crucial for established businesses. So of course it would be crucial for for startups as well. But again, the cost effectiveness of that option is key. It helps you to target your resources towards other areas of whatever project you're building, developing. And then these are some of the other, currently we've got over 2,000 applications now running on top of Flux Cloud. You've got gaming servers, Minecraft, some of the most commonly known ones, and some others which we haven't announced yet that we'll be announcing later on down the year, of more established enterprises. That's part of my job, and I've been really engaging with these large enterprises to adopt this new approach in terms of cloud computing, because again, as I mentioned, it's key to the next wave of applications. But of course, the most exciting narrative right now, is I'm sure all of us will agree, is AI, right? And we looked at this and we recognize that there is an opportunity for us to create a solution for this as well. And it follows a similar model. We have Flux Edge, which sits in our technology stack, and that essentially orchestrates GPU compute, which is vital for inferencing, rendering, and the development of AI agents and deploying them across the globe. We have Flux Edge, where you can access that compute resource directly across multiple providers across the entire globe, all the way down from your 1080 GPUs all the way up to your latest H200 cards, which is crucial. So we can adhere to both startups and larger enterprises. And then on top of that, we recently partnered with NVIDIA and are bringing in their NIMS microservices and set the AI software to sit on top of that compute layer. And then you can leverage community models, open source models. You can leverage NVIDIA's own models, or you can bring in your own custom models, right, and deploy and inference them or train them on top of our compute layer. And the whole idea is to have this comprehensive solution stack. And if I was a startup out there, this is what I would be looking for. I think some of the challenges that a lot of startups face right now is, when you're shopping around for these different elements in terms of what do we need for our application, what infrastructure should we use, what AI model should we use if we want to integrate, AI in that, it can be very difficult and challenging. And so our approach at Influx has been to actually bring all of these different components sort of under one solution stack, provide that consultancy and that expert advice and support to allow that sort of natural, scalable progression and across the, again, as you can see at the top there, the different industry verticals that you might be coming from, right? Whether it's fintech, retail, healthcare, it doesn't matter. I'm working with a very large sort of healthcare public sector organization here in the UK, and we're working with them to help them and help surgeons and clinicians and medical professionals adopt AI software and solutions, all running on top of this compute infrastructure that is being orchestrated via a Web3 technology. So that's ultimately our approach. And what we recognized is the reality with end users of these applications, half of the time no one really cares what's really going on in the back end. I think one of the failures that we have ourselves, and it's a critique I post to even our own team here at Influx, is we don't need to keep pushing this Web3 or blockchain narrative out there as much because again, the 4.8 billion Web2 users don't quite understand that terminology yet. So actually, let's just create something that hides the whys in the back end and present something they understand. And that's a key component to adoption of whatever applications you're going to build and develop or projects you're thinking of. It's having that ability to speak a common language or language that the end users or your market can recognize and understand. That's how you're going to get, market adoption. Now,
yeah, Emmanuel, sorry for interrupting, but we have a few minutes left. So, yeah, just a kindly reminder for you, and one question we will have for you.
No worries. Thank you very much. So, I thought I would just narrow this down to fintech sort of applications. This morning, actually, Robinhood, I think it was overnight, announced new AI features being integrated in their sort of banking platform that they're releasing. And this has, of course, stirred a lot of excitement within the market. And it just shows the different use cases. When you have a compute layer that is applicable and usable in terms of and cost effective, you can then integrate these new features that the market recognizes AI applications across these different use cases within fintech solutions. So again, that's quite key in itself. And I'll just wrap up with that to hopefully bring it home. So of course, I'll open the floor to any questions.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you. Actually, my last question, my question will be connected with the last slide. How do you estimate the role of artificial intelligence in the next 3-5 years in Web3 projects?
I expect it to grow drastically, and I think we're already seeing that right with agentic AI. There's a lot of projects that are now integrating agents on top of their infrastructure to allow that bit of autonomy and transfer of data without human interaction. So I certainly anticipate that within Web3 and ultimately as well outside of Web3 into Web2, and that's how you bring Web2 into the ecosystem. So I do think AI is going to be a key driver in that adoption line.
Thank you very much. I guess you can close your presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you. So now we can move on. Now I will be the speaker as well of this webinar. So next one, I will share my screen. I guess everyone can see it. So my topic for today is DAO project. Building, managing, and scaling decentralized organizations. So as I mentioned, I'm a senior lawyer at SBSB FinTech Lawyers, and we specialize in full legal support of crypto projects. So today we'll look through the key features of DAO projects, their advantages, disadvantages, purposes, and their legal status. Okay. So what is DAO? DAO is decentralized autonomous organization. These entities are without central leadership and governed by a community organized around a specific set of rules enforced on blockchain. So DAOs differ from traditional organizations managed by boards, directors. Rather than being managed by a limited group, DAOs use a set of rules written down in code and enforced by the network of computers. So DAO operates using smart contracts, which are chunks of code that automatically execute whenever a set of criteria are met. And DAO are fully transparent, built on open source blockchain, and allowing everyone to view their code and audit their built-in treasures. On the next slide, I would like to share with you top most popular DAO projects. Just to give you the idea, probably you heard something about them. So first of all, is Dash, is decentralized autonomous organization that was created in 2015 to support and develop the Dash cryptocurrency ecosystem. Also, you can see here MakerDAO is a DAO that allows users to lend and borrow cryptocurrencies. MakerDAO also have two types of tokens, MakerDAO as a governance token, and their tokens, holders of these tokens allowed to use them to vote on proposals that affect on this decentralized autonomous organization, and on their another type of token, DAI, as a stable coin. And another one top project is Uniswap. It works as a decentralized crypto exchange and use also automated market maker system. Uniswap also has its own token, which is used for voting on government's decisions. That is the main feature of DAO. Next one, as you see on the screen, you can look through the main key features of DAO. First of all is decentralization, and my other previous speakers already told about this, because decentralization means that no central authority are here, and DAO is an entity that operates without such type of authority, and governance occurs through on-chain voting mechanism. Also, other important features are autonomy via smart contracts, token-based governance, because DAO members vote using special governance tokens, which determine their influence in decision-making. And important is transparency and immutability, because all transactions and all proposals are recorded on the blockchain, and all their movements, they are visible to all members. Other important characteristics is open participation, when anyone can join and contribute by acquiring some amount of tokens. For example, 10 tokens or 100 tokens could be as a reason to be like in a governance of this DAO organization. Another characteristic is treasury management, because funds are held in smart contracts rather than in bank accounts. But also you should understand some legal and regulatory complexity when many DAOs projects operate in a gray legal area, and we will discuss this point a little bit later in our next slides. And if we talk about use cases, there are the most popular types of DAO. They can be used for investment as a funding Web3 projects. They can be used for social purposes, like for communities and networking, for governing of DeFi platforms, and to funding public goods and innovation. Of course, when we talk about such type of projects, you should consider some challenges or disadvantages of them. So first of all, that DAOs may be difficult to establish and administer, and this running of this project requires some knowledge and resources. Also, consensus-based decision-making may be sluggish and inefficient sometimes. Also, you should consider smart contract vulnerabilities, because code errors or exploits can lead to hacks, treasury losses, so security is a very important question here. And another important issue is uncertainty and regulatory risks that might arise. Here, if we talk about legal regulation, you should understand that opposed to traditional organizations, DAO have decentralized nature, both technically and legally. And the lack of regulatory reference raises questions about liability, governance, rights and obligations. So among the critical problems is that whether or not to give DAO some kind of legal personality. That's why there are two main categories of models of DAO, structured and unstructured. Unstructured DAO, where the organization has no legal structure, and this leave participants, governance, and assets completely unprotected. And another part is structured DAO, will recommend, and we will talk about them, structured with a so-called legal wrappers to structure individual transactions, assets, and so on. That is very important considering the question about protection of rights of participants. We highly recommend to set up a legal wrapper for DAO project because it will help to protect against a lot of risks. First of all, unlimited liability, because legal wrapped DAO can shield its members from personal involvement. Also, legal wrapper can prevent from being personally responsible for their taxes. So it will prevent and protect from unlimited tax liability. Also, a wrapper can protect from having to pay fines, penalties out of their personal funds. So you can avoid the risk of unlimited financial liability. And another one is that you can avoid a general partnership liability. You can scale your project because the absence of the structure creates some operational barriers for your organization, and I guess you don't need it. And governance risk, because the lack of the legal basis deprives DAO of the ability to effectively enforce decisions of participants and defend themselves in courts, and also among other issues. Here we wanted to show you the most popular jurisdictions because jurisdictions around the world are enacted a lot of laws specifically designed for the formation of DAO. Here you can see Marshall Islands, for example. It's one of the most popular jurisdictions. We also help with setting up DAO project there, because here DAO are recognized as non-profit or for-profit limited liability companies from December 2022, and you can use the company as a full legal wrapper for your project. And also another popular jurisdictions are Abu Dhabi global markets as a free zone in United Arab Emirates, also Wyoming as a states of America, Switzerland, Cayman Islands, and Panama. These are like the most popular jurisdictions. Also, some other countries also already regulate this question, but not very in a not very structured way. That's why we recommend to consider these ones. We don't have a lot of time, but just a few words about the main stages of creating a DAO. First of all, is an initial token distribution. This is
разница между профессиональным блогом, за которым хочется следить, и блогом.
Sorry. We can move on. First stage is to make initial token distribution. The primary distribution could be both a centralized distribution and it could be in the private or in the public token distribution campaign. Second stage is the initial formation for DAO Treasury. DAO Treasury, as you probably know, is a pool of funds for the continuous growth and development of the organization. And for the initial formation of DAO, the tokens, usually some tokens are reserved for community pool or for the public token distribution campaign. So this reserved funds will be transferred to the company. And after the second stage of the DAO formation, this new formed DAO now possess new characteristics as a DAO. And we can move to the stage 3, when you should implement decentralized governance, treasury management, creating a community of DAO members, also create a legal wrappers that we discussed previously, so incorporate a legal entity to legalize the DAO. Few words about the governance. So the governance could be described in the constitution of the DAO, and the main points that you should indicate there criteria for DAO members, for example, the amount of tokens that members should buy in order to participate in a governance. You should also indicate methods of issuing voting rights, decide the list of decisions, structure all the procedures, and structure the DAO's management bodies with their responsibilities. For these purposes, we highly recommend to get legal advice. So that's my last slide, I guess. We don't have a lot of time, but you should know that there's projects, DAO projects are very complicated, and lawyers definitely can help with identify the most suitable jurisdictions for the DAO incorporation. Sometimes, depending on the project, you need even 2 or 3 legal entities for all the whole projects. Also, we can advise on the liability, taxation, regulatory oversight. Sometimes it's important to comply with crypto laws depending on the country and the jurisdiction. We also can help with drafting of agreements for token issuance, white papers, and terms of use for your website, for your application. So that's the main points. I guess you can keep in touch with us on our contact button, and as well after this webinar, we will share our contacts too. Thank you for the listening. Sorry, we don't have a lot of time to be deeply in this topic, but I guess I can give you some idea about the DAO project. And as I see, we had one of the questions from the audience. It's how much does it usually cost to start DAO projects? Here you can understand that the project, you should understand that the project can vary significantly depending on the various factors, and we as lawyers can predict your expenses to the legal part of your project. So it also depends on the jurisdiction that you will choose. It could be from 5,000 euros to 20,000 euros, depending on the country and depending on the compliance requirements there. And also depending on the amount of hours that we'll spend to a project to prepare some legal documents. It could also take up to, I guess, 10,000 euros for turnkey project. And also, as you know from our other speakers, there are a lot of other questions that should be covered, like development, technology, infrastructure, also marketing and community, token creation, blockchain development, etc., etc. I guess it will be better to get a consultation from these professionals and then to estimate your budget for the project. Okay, I guess I can finish the presentation and move on to our next speaker. Just 1 second. The next speaker will be Ivan Borisov. He is CBDO at the AFI-Pay. He is a technical leader and architect with over 10 years of experience in blockchain solutions and DeFi products. So now, Ivan, hello. Can we?
Thank you. Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you, Daria. Unfortunately, today I am without camera because I have small technical problems.
Okay, but we can see your presentation. Everything is fine.
Can you see?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So thanks for introduction. Again, my name is Ivan, and I'm CBDO in a crypto processing company, AFI-Pay.com. In our company, we built a product that helps businesses accept crypto as easily as company accept bank cards. Today, I will tell you about why Web3 payments are still not popular for everyday use, despite already technology. We will look at the main problems: speed, fees, user experience, and of course about integration with traditional businesses. Web3 is no longer only about the centralized finance or NFTs. It's now real business tools. It helps companies save money on transactions, move faster, and of course, reach new markets. My first point about speed, fees, and user experience, and about UX. Let's start with the basic. Right now, Web3 payments are faster and cheaper than Visa, MasterCard, or Google Pay, Apple Pay. Especially, it's important for international payments. For example, a transaction on Solana blockchain or Polygon blockchain costs less than 1 cent and proceed less than 1 second. Even Ethereum will cost no more than $5 or I don't know, $7 cent any amount within 15 or 16 seconds for validation of block. I want to highlight here that operation costs do not depend on the geography of payments. International payments have some costs. But even if we fix spend and costs, the user's experience is still a problem. I think you understand about people don't want to learn what is the gas, what is a layer 2, or seed phrases, or account abstractions. There are already some good solutions. First, of course, it's rollups. It is special abstraction with layer 2 or layer 3 technology. Those technologies increase speed and reduce fees to just a few cents for a lot of important blockchains. Some smart wallets don't need seed phrases and can pay gas for users. For example, in 2024, proposal with account abstraction wallet did over 100 million transactions. It's 87% of them were gasless. The app or services pay the fee, not the user, so that the payments are gasless. I think this is important for mass adoption. For example, companies like Pimlica, Biconomy, or Coinbase already offer this. And of course, create simple interfaces if we talk about user experience. Social login, for example, Google Authenticator, Microsoft Authenticator, of course, Apple ID, Web3 House, readable wallet names, and face or fingerprint login if you use, of course, your mobile device. Users can start playing without using MetaMask wallet. It's the most popular wallet in Web3. Let's get into infrastructure and integration with traditional economy. Even if tech is ready, businesses need simple tools to accept crypto. The problem, most business don't want into how they can manage private keys, use RPCs, or think about gas. And of course, they need simple tools, APIs, SDKs, website buttons, simple and small integrations, plug-and-play solutions, and of course, POS terminals. Solutions that already exist, on-ramp, off-ramp, and of course, integration. For example, Shopify or plus Solana Pay, the customers pays in USDC and the seller gets the full amount with almost no fee. And here real-world examples, of course. Supermarkets in Latin America started accepting USDC, Try, Circle, Binance Pay Plus, Ingenico terminals, and of course, SaaS companies began to accept crypto for subscriptions faster and cheaper than Swift. And final part about now I want to tell how we do it in AfiPay. In our product, we solve these problems in 3 ways. First, we hide the complexity. The users pays from their wallets, but the interface is simple, like Apple Pay. They don't think about chains, tokens, fees, blockchain standards, audits, etc. Second, we support multiple blockchains. Right now, we support Ethereum, Tron Chain, Arbitrum, Polygon, Solana, and right now we will finish integration with Tron Open Network chain. Users pay with what they have. We convert it and send the right token in your business. For example, the user sent your Bitcoin, and we can convert very volatility Bitcoin directly to stable USDT or USDC. And third, final, it's a fiat backend. The businesses gets either crypto or fiat as they prefer. It all happens automatically. Our services bridge between Web3 business, Web3 industry, and traditional banks or modern fintech companies. And so overall, mass adoptions of Web3 payments is not about hype right now. It's about making things simple, clear, and use for business. And if users enjoy it and businesses earn more, it will grow fast. And here, of course, my contacts, you can directly send me on Telegram or LinkedIn, and we will plan demo with your company and integrate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ivan. Thank you. I guess it's very important because a lot of companies are thinking about transfers between each other in crypto, and they don't want to use this Europe transfers or Swift transfers in American dollars. And of course, crypto is faster and cheaper, as you mentioned. And we have one question from the audience. Do you think it's possible to legally use smart contracts in international settlements between legal entities?
I think it's possible, but right now, for a lot of regulations and governments right now don't have possible and complexity terms and documents how company can use smart contract right now. But I think in the future we will use smart contracts directly, and it will be absolutely legal tool for business, for not only business and for individuals too. Yes.
Thank you very much. I guess you can close your presentation.
One more.
And now let me introduce our next speaker, Hristo Koevsky. He is the head of sales in BitBase. As a representative of BitBase, he contributes to the advancement of Web3 payment solution as well. Hi, Hristo.
Hello, Daria.
Hello.
Yeah,
we can see. Thank you very much.
Okay. Hope now you see the full screen, yeah?
Yeah, full screen works.
Fantastic. All right, thank you.
Yeah.
It's very nice to meet you all. Thank you, SB team, for the invitation. It's great to be here. and listen to our fellow experts from the Web3 space. I'm going to talk about a similar topic like Ivan, basically about the Web3 payments. And yeah, so myself, quick intro, a couple of words. I lead the sales effort in emerging markets for BitPace. I joined the company around 10 months ago, and I've been in the industry for almost 3 years. BitPace is a crypto PSP working with various industries globally, and the company has been around for 6-7 years already. So my agenda for the call is going to be like I'm going to talk about like on a high level about these points here. Basically, first the traditional payments and versus Web3 payments. Then I'm going to talk about seamless global transactions, how the payment automation integration enable or foster trust and efficiency, security and compliance, which is also a very hot topic in the crypto space. I'm going to mention quickly about the most popular cryptocurrencies used as a payment method nowadays, which are the main industries as well adopting crypto, the main challenges, and at the end, I'm happy to answer any questions from the audience. So on the first point, so traditional payments versus Web3 or past versus present, essentially what has been happening until recently when it comes to cross-border payments, they were very slow, costly, and unpredictable. You send money and sometimes you don't know when exactly you're getting paid, they're going to be received. Now with crypto and more specifically with stable coins, businesses can actually bypass all these banking delays, reduce the excessive fees, and payments can be received instantly or almost instantly cross-border. So there is no more waiting for days for funds to be cleared. There is also no hidden fees, and we don't really rely on the outdated banking rails. So today, the speed, the transparency, the security, it's not just something nice to have. They are actually the standard, and they are a competitive advantage. So one of the main features of the Web3 payments or crypto payments is the ability to facilitate transactions globally. So there is no border, basically. You can, thanks to providers in the crypto payment space, you can send funds or receive funds globally. Usually let's say in our case, of course, we don't work with any sanctioned countries, and there might be certain jurisdictions which require different licensing, but usually as for a company like us, which is licensed in the EU, the coverage is global. The transactions are instant or almost instant, so you get paid in 5 to 10 minutes, usually in stable coins. Everything is every transaction is verifiable in real time on the blockchain. So you can simply by having the transaction hash, you can see the status of every transaction in real time. Cost efficiency as well. Now the crypto payments, they tend to be quite cost efficient. I mean, compared to the regular banking payments, could be just a fraction of the price. Then about the payment automation and integration, also the beautiful thing in like a lot of like the payments can be automated, or a lot of things in the payments process can be automated. Let's say when you receive a payment in crypto, you can pre-configure automatic conversion to fiat or to other crypto, so the process can be seamless, and also you can have automated reporting. This is very important for the accounting, finance teams. Then integration, it's usually seamless. The API integration would be the most popular one. It usually happens within a few days, and you can literally integrate with anything from e-commerce platforms to cashiers, payment gateways, CRMs, ERPs, and so on. I'm just going to mention a couple of, like, for example, in our case, these are some of the integrations available. OpenCart to commerce in the e-commerce plugin space. Then you have a lot of like cashiers and other payment platforms covering different industries. Now, security and compliance. There is like from our experience, we still observe like people who may think about crypto as being like something anonymous, something that is not regulated, that you can do anything, you can send money to anyone, everywhere, without any checks or anything like that. But it's exactly the opposite. The security, like first of all, crypto payment providers are strictly regulated nowadays. The security is a bank grade security. So the financial, like the regulated crypto PSPs are like financial institutions. This is the kind of regulation we are and the security that we are adhering to. Then also transaction monitoring systems are used. So why is this? We need to make sure that no funds related to any illicit activity, dark web, or terrorist financing are entering our system. And this is the absolutely the top priority, because this is also part of the regulatory responsibilities that we have. So if in case, let's say, a transaction might be potentially associated with illicit activities, or the wallet of the sender can be compromised, let's say, the transaction is blocked by our transaction monitoring system. It will be investigated by our team. We would request, in most cases, KYC or KYB information of the sender of the merchant, because we don't have basically a commercial relationship or any relationship with the end user or the customer of our customer. So if you need some information about the sender, we need to request this from our customer or the merchant which is onboarded with us. And then if our team decides that transaction is safe, then it's going to be released and credited to the merchant's account. If not, it's going to be refunded to source. Then also fraud prevention tools are used widely. Reporting also is very important. So basically, you can generate a transaction report and balance confirmation report at any point in the system, and also some customer reports can be generated. Also, in terms of licensing, it was actually funny. I have a recent story with one of the latest exhibitions that we exhibited at in Dubai a few months ago. I met some people at a networking event and asked them, what do you guys do? It turns out it's another crypto PSP. And asked them, guys, where are you licensed? And they're like, why do we need to be licensed? Why do we need a license? I'm like, okay, that's interesting. Of course, I don't, like we all know, there is like probably also other payment methods. There is certain companies which might not be licensed, or which is still like accepted by different merchants, which have maybe different requirements. But usually the crypto companies or virtual asset service providers, as they're formally, as this is the formal, let's say, how to say, the name of the type of license which is popular in the crypto space, are very strictly regulated. I mean, some of the top licenses at the moment are still Estonia, Gibraltar, Lithuania in the European Union. Now all of these licenses are being upgraded, or they need to transition to MiCA, which is already being enforced. Another thing important to say is, now with the travel rule being implemented, when you send crypto, when let's say our merchant needs to send crypto to anyone, they need to declare the beneficiary details. So it's not like you can send crypto to anyone. You need to declare who is the beneficiary. Like it's the same as when you're sending a bank transfer. All right. So the most popular cryptos, a lot of the audience are already quite familiar with them, but just to mention, so USDT would still be number one, pegged by the US dollar, issued by Tether. Then you have USDC, which is issued by Circle, and then you have the Euro C, which is pegged by the Euro, which again is issued by Circle. Then quickly about the main industry which are adopting crypto payments. So there would be a lot of companies from the financial services space. Then you have payment service providers, remittances, e-commerce, commodity trading, real estate, iGaming, logistics, hospitality, travel, and tourism. So we observe adoption as also Ivan mentioned, like in different businesses, also supermarkets in Latin America. I wasn't aware, so that's really a breakthrough. So as you see, there is like pretty much every industry is already looking at or already adopted crypto and making steps in that direction. What are the challenges? Some of the main challenges maybe in for the crypto payments at the moment. First of all, like crypto is already the present. Is not even the future, but is also true that there is some skepticism about the future of the crypto assets. Maybe because of the volatility. Maybe because there is you know, some very often regulators or governments around the world are sending some mixed signals about the adoption of or regulation of the digital assets. Then it's also a lot of merchants wouldn't be familiar with how blockchain and crypto works. Here, the good news is that companies like Afipay and BitPay, and also even rightly said, we are supporting the merchant to every step of the way, even if they don't have any knowledge about crypto or blockchain. We make the experience hassle-free for them because there is the complete support. And also in reality, what happens a lot of times is that the merchant, they keep doing business in the traditional way in fiat. And what we would do is simply facilitate or bridge the gap, facilitate the receiving the funds in crypto, converting to fiat. So then the rest is business as usual. Then the other thing is fiat settlements. I mean, there is, as you guys know, there is a lot of crypto-friendly, mostly EMIs, maybe some traditional banks globally, but still, you know, since a lot of merchants are dealing with traditional banks and settlements might be a challenge. Okay, but the good news is that more and more banks are becoming crypto-friendly. I think it was last month when there was an announcement that one of the I think it was Deutsche Bank, which started working officially with one of the top crypto exchanges globally, which is a huge like positive signal. Yeah, so that was pretty much on the topic from my side. Here are my contacts if anybody would like to get in touch and have a business chat, more than happy to do so. Thanks so much for your time and attention. Now, if anybody has questions, and if we still have time, Daria, of course.
Yeah, thank you, Christo. You're in schedule totally, and everything is in time. Okay, we had some questions from our participants. When they register, they also could ask some questions. So the question is, how do you see the future of cross-border payments evolving, especially for startups? So how do you estimate the future of such type of payments in crypto in nearest 5, maybe 10 years?
I believe that, and also from the information we have and see in the market, crypto is going to be adopted more widely step by step, especially in emerging markets for cross-border payments. So I think the future is only positive. And for startups specifically, something that is maybe a good moment to mention, because obviously the startups are very cautious about cost, about initial investment. Companies like BitPay would normally wouldn't charge for a setup fee or any recurring fee. Usually the business model is based on a transaction fee percentage on every successful transaction. So it's kind of pay as you go. So I think this is also very good news for startups which would like to test and try crypto payments. And the other thing is that there is no integration cost in case integration is required. So yeah, that's
very good, because
awesome.
as usual, companies have some kind of onboarding fee or integration fee. It's great that you encourage new startups to try up your services.
Yeah, and just to add to this, we don't have any minimum revenue commitment per month. So essentially, there is you can always try without any commitment.
Okay. Are you going to prepare to MiCA, I guess, as a regulated virtual asset service provider?
Yes, I mean this is already happening. Since
already.
yeah, we have 2 setups in the European Union at the moment, and we are transitioning to MiCA, and we're compliant with all the regulatory requirements. Essentially,
That's
yeah.
great. Thank you, Krista. I guess we can move on to our next speaker. So
You're
I'm
welcome.
pleased
Thanks so much,
to
Daria.
thank you for your presentation and for the topic. So I'm pleased to introduce our next speaker and my colleague, actually, Roman Baranovsky. He is an expert in launching and licensing gambling projects. And he also specialized in blockchain-based casinos, assisting clients in setting up and licensing crypto-friendly gambling platforms. And today, his topic will be regarding play to earn and GameFi. Hi, Roman.
Yeah, hello Daria, hello colleagues. Thank you for introduction. As Daria said, my name is Roman Baranovsky. I'm working at SBSB FinTech Lawyers as senior lawyer. Also, I'm head of iGaming department. We, with my colleagues, obtain gambling licenses, structure casinos, lotteries, poker rooms, bookmaking platforms, and for sure, along with that, we have an extensive experience in blockchain gambling business. In particular, we are structuring play-to-earn businesses, GameFi businesses, and I'm here to share with you some insights regarding regulatory landscape of this, let's say, phenomenon. Yeah, to deep you into some maybe new definitions for you, some new informations. And okay, so not to waste time, because honestly, this topic is very wide, yeah, and I would try to describe you a lot of things during these 10 minutes. So, okay, first, I would like to start from the definition of GameFi and play to earn. What is it? Yes, first of all, GameFi or game finance represents a new sector in the cryptocurrency space that combines games with decentralized finances, so-called DeFi. Yeah. This fusion includes various financial activities in games, such as, for example, in-game asset ownership, play-to-earn systems, and decentralized gaming platforms. Using blockchain technology, GameFi provides players with genuine ownership of digital assets, allowing them to trade, sell, or use them across multiple platforms. And what is special, additionally, GameFi introduce monetization models that allow players to earn cryptocurrency rewards for their gaming achievements. The rise of GameFi has transformed the gaming industry by introducing play-to-earn, so-called P2E models, a blockchain-based gaming system allowing players to earn real-world rewards through gameplay. Unlike traditional gaming, where users spend money on in-game purchases, for example, P2E models enabled players to earn cryptocurrency, NFTs, and other digital assets that can be traded or sold. You can know P2E projects by such products as, for example, CryptoKitties emerged in 2017. Since then, the P2E gaming market has continued to grow and evolve, with new games emerging and offering players more opportunities to earn cryptocurrency through gameplay. Some more recent popular P2E games include Alien Worlds, DeFi Land, Decentraland, Axie Infinity, and many others. Although GameFi and play to earn are comparable concepts, they still have some differences. GameFi primarily focuses on integrating blockchain technology into various aspects of gaming, including game development, tokenomics, in-game economies. It aims to enhance the user experience, enable ownership of in-game asset, through introduce innovative gameplay mechanics, often incorporating DeFi elements. Yeah, and conversely, P2E model revolves around gameplay mechanics, where players earn rewards. Usually, it's cryptocurrencies, NFTs, by participating in and completing in-game tasks or challenges. While both GameFi and P2E cover the gaming space, GameFi encompasses a broader spectrum of blockchain integration and game-related innovations, whereas P2E specifically emphasize earning opportunities within gaming environments. To highlight the rise of this industry, as per Metaverse Awareness Surveys, 40% of respondents stated that they are interested in pursuing a mix of both the playing and earning aspects, while 11% indicated they are more interested in earning money, and 49% stated they are only interested in playing. Another interesting finding of the survey was that more than half of respondents stated they would happily work in virtual game worlds if they were able to earn digital currency from their labor. Yes, and these insights point to a shift towards a more interactive and economically rewarding metaverse, where users are not only consumers of entertainment, but also active participants in its virtual economy. What about the regulation, you will ask me? So currently there are no specific regulations around GameFi, and there is ambiguity around who should regulate GameFi. Primarily due to its unique features, mode of business, and overlap with existing regulatory frameworks. But there are some regulatory concepts around GameFi. And first of this concept is the nature of GameFi tokens, which are an integral part of each such product. The recently proposed Responsible Financial Innovation Act in the US intends to categorize a majority of cryptocurrencies as securities. As per the proposed draft of regulation, any token invested with an expectation of profit is likely to be classified as a security. So would all the projects that stimulate the liquidity pools, which will impact the DeFi ecosystem as well as GameFi projects. So if a GameFi token is used, for example, to buy special access rights in a blockchain-based games with the intention of later realizing income or profiting from it, then it may likely be classified as a security and may attract their regulation. The second concern is about marketing. Yes, most states clearly prohibit marketing a business of converting gaming products into money or intermediating such conversion or repurchase of tangible and intangible results, which indirectly limits the distribution and growth of P2E games in the country. And the third one is overlap with regulations around gambling. So some jurisdictions prohibit or regulate it as gambling, including raffles, which are conducted quite frequently by players in the GameFi ecosystem. GameFi may also face restrictions due to its reliance on virtual currency businesses such as crypto wallets, exchange and trading of tokens, which may be regulated and even banned in some states and countries. The lack of clear regulation in GameFi can lead to fraudulent projects, unverified smart contracts, scams such as rug pulls where developers abandon projects after gathering funds. And regulatory uncertainty also makes it difficult for investors to assess the long-term viability of GameFi projects. The decentralized nature of GameFi also complicates legal and tax obligations. Regulations surrounding cryptocurrencies, NFTs, and virtual assets vary by jurisdiction, creating uncertainty when it comes to taxation and legal issues. So the adoption of P2E model gives rise of some other legal matters, including, for example, regulatory risks, anti-money laundering, know your customer, consumer protection risks such as gambling and loot box, copyrights issues, and many other. Moreover, some P2E games and collectibles may violate gambling regulations if they are not properly structured. The many P2E games and digital collectibles platforms offer a marketplace where players may buy, sell, or exchange objects. And the presence of a marketplace does not imply that there is a gambling, but when combined with other factors, it may lead to such a conclusion. As a result, if the project is not properly legally structured and administered, it could be considered unlawful gambling or unfair trading activity. The other thing is awards that can be exchanged for money or cryptocurrency and may raise concerns about gambling. So that's why qualified legal support, without qualified legal support, it will be very difficult to build something really workable and profitable as well. So let's go to the how generally how to structure the business of GameFi and play to earn without any regulatory risks. So for GameFi business, having a well thought out strategy is essential to ensure long-term success and sustainability. Yeah, and here is why the following experts are crucial. For example, drafting of business plan. A comprehensive business plan serves as a foundation for any GameFi and play-to-earn projects. It outlines the roadmap for the business, covering critical elements such as target markets, revenue model, growth strategy, financial projections, risk assessments, and so on. After that, the project can go to the developing of a website. Website for sure is a great marketing element of each business which is working especially in this industry. Yeah, that's why it's also crucial to the potential business to develop a well done website. Choosing of safe jurisdiction for incorporation, also a very crucial moment. It will depend whether the business will fall under some regulatory environment, tax consideration, legal protection, cross-border operations, and many other. For sure, drafting of legal policies, it will be crucial on the stage of opening of accounts, especially. Each such business should have terms of service, privacy policy, refund and return policy, and KYC AML policy. It's like one of the most crucial elements here. And for sure, connecting payments, here everything depends whether the projects have the license or no. Anyway, for this type of business, it's available to connect crypto and fiat payment options, to launch payment security, to make a blockchain integration, and to connect payment flow, to follow the payment flow transparency. So yeah, when choosing the jurisdiction, it's also crucial to provide a business model. Yeah, it can be like an alternative to the well-developed business plan, especially when the project would like to launch in some unregulated offshore jurisdiction. For sure, a comprehensive list of products to determine where to incorporate. Token nature, yeah, as was discussed above, to avoid any determination of security tokens, which is very strictly regulated in most of countries. Geography of clients and partners, and payment methods. So when it comes to the question when to incorporate the business, we have honestly few options. Here I presented you the most the best options for startups because all these jurisdictions, they offer just unregulatory environment for start with low fees, with very prompt time frames, and without any strict regulation. So the first one is Costa Rica. It's like a hub for unregulated crypto and gambling business, offers a favorable business environment with relatively low incorporation costs and flexible regulatory frameworks. So the second one is British Virgin Islands, also very popular choice for GameFi and P2E business. Have a well-established legal system and business-friendly tax environment. Panama, I don't know whether you know, Polymarket is Panama is very friendly to untraditional business models, both in crypto and in gambling. And maybe you know that Polymarket is one of the businesses which is just incorporated in the Panama without any licenses. Yeah. It's very friendly for non-traditional gaming, for non-traditional crypto, has a stable legal system, and is developing regulations now. It's in the process of developing regulation, but for now you can, without any problems, incorporate a like safe unregulated business in this country. Cayman Islands, highly attractive jurisdiction for international businesses, including for sure P2E platforms, due to its tax neutrality, no corporate taxes, and strong regulatory environment. Marshall Islands. In Marshall Islands, we are incorporating even DAO businesses, which is legally allowed in the country. So for sure, also for GameFi and play-to-earn businesses, it can be the great choice. And Belize, relatively low-cost jurisdiction from all of the above. It provides privacy protections and favorable tax environment, making an attractive option for startup play-to-earn businesses. So, and I see that time has already expired. Just a few words about payments. So what payment methods can have such business? So honestly, everything depends on the country where you are incorporated. For example, when you have a license or is incorporated and licensed in some European strict jurisdiction like Malta, for example, Cyprus, and so on, you can connect fiat options with banks, with electronic money institutions, with payment service providers, yes, and to work with fiat. But there are also other alternative options like crypto processing, like P2P fiat methods to engage fiat operations without licenses, like fiat on ramps. Maybe you know such company as Transact and so many others which are connected both crypto and fiat. And for sure, like local payment methods, which allows P2P payments. Everything for sure depends on on your product, on the countries where you will operate, and on the country where you are incorporated or licensed. So I think that's all. Thank you for attention. Hope it was interesting for our audience.
Thank you, Roman. Thank you. We had some questions from the audience. One of them, I guess you already covered. Could you provide more information about play-to-earn projects? I guess we already discussed them, and you gave us examples of successful projects, yeah? And another one question is how to avoid crossing the line between gaming and gambling in DeFi. GameFi.
Yeah, it's a very interesting question because gambling is, as a rule, those like business model which includes a game of chance element. For example, for our clients, recent times we are structuring a lot of such businesses as game of skill. Game of skill is like a game where the user can show some skill, yes, and for this he can earn money. For example, maybe you know some Counter-Strike game. So just imagine that for killing of other user, you will earn some cryptocurrency or NFTs or something like that.
That's great.
So, yeah. So but when you will have some crypto slots or crypto poker or I don't know, just crypto cards, yes. So where the chance is predominant. So in this case, it will be gambling. But everything honestly depends on the jurisdiction. Some countries like Malta, they also regulate game of skill models. UK don't regulate, but with UK we do not recommend to move on because UK have very strict rules regarding the crypto, regarding crypto tokens and so on.
Yeah.
To start the business, the offshore is very good, especially when the offshore doesn't regulate both crypto and gambling. Yeah, thank you.
Great, thank you. Thank you for your presentation. You can close it now. Thank you, Roman. And we can move on to our next speaker. I'm happy to introduce Ganna Prokhorova. She is a partner and attorney at law at Mamunia IP. She advises on trademark, patent, copyright protection, and serves as an expert of international domain name disputes. So, Ganna, hello. Nice to meet you.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, first of all, let me congratulate for this event. And I'm very happy to be here today. And also I'm grateful for the organizers to invite, because this event is quite interesting even for the lawyers, you know. So I was not attending all these speakers' speeches, but it was quite informational. And also understand that I have a special mission today because I'm the last one. So
yes.
And since we are working already for 2 hours, so I understand that I need to somehow wake people up. So instead of giving some, you know, legal boring information, I will try to make everything possible to give the audience practical tips. So let's move on. I will share my screen. And that's it. Oh. Slideshow.
Yeah. Oh, great. Full screen.
Full screen. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
So today we are focusing on IP, which stands for intellectual property, for IP protection in Web3. But before that, before jumping to the topic, I would just like to start from the very beginning, because we heard a lot about smart contracts today. And I think that maybe the audience will have the question, well, why do we need lawyers here? Because smart contracts apparently are self-executing programs which are stored on blockchains. So it's more technical field, right? And so where the lawyer is here. And I must say that actually, although lawyers do not write the code itself, but we can give the shaping and legal logic behind that. So although smart contracts, it's mainly coding, but they also provides the for licensing and royalty payments, and this is actually lawyers which can help to work on the licensing schemes. Also, in terms of Web3 tools, it's very great that we have blockchain records, which help us to have those kind of technical tools for IP, which can prove and help us to prove the ownership, transparent licensing, and royalty tracking. And at the same time, although we have all those Web3 tools, still the best protection strategy is when technical field and legal field are together. Therefore, we still use, even in Web3, traditional contracts like licensing agreements, where we provide information on how the IP can be used, what type of rights, either they are limited or they are the full. Those license agreements, they're also essential for different collaboration, marketplace, and so on and so forth. We also have NDAs, non-disclosure agreements, which is mainly used for developers, artists, and freelancers. And using at least license agreements, we need to understand what is the subject matter of that. And therefore, I would like you to welcome to my world, the world of IP. And today we will be talking about trademarks and copyright mainly, although I understand that 10 minutes is nothing for this type of topics. However, I will try to give you the background. When we are talking about trademarks, we need not to forget that trademarks is mainly about signs, words or logos, shapes, sometimes also sounds, which are registered for specific goods and services, and those signs help us to distinguish goods and services of one producer from another one. when we're talking about copyright, it's mainly about the artistical works or literary works. It's also about music, videos, and metadata, and also it's about the code, the contract, the smart code itself, because code is also copyrightable. Yes, copyright can be registered to have a stronger protection, but not everywhere. For example, in Europe, not so many countries can provide the registration. But such countries like the US, for example, you cannot enforce your rights if you don't have a copyright registration. I will be not focusing on domains here, but this is exactly a super interesting topic. I will just say that if you are securing your Web2 domains, it will be also helpful for the use. And Web3 domains, they do not. So here's also about the UDRP, but I think that we will cover that later. So let's move forward. And again, the main idea is that although Web3 is global and fast-moving, but still the best protection starts with classical IP tools. Let's dive a little bit deep into trademark protection and have a look on the key points. So first, we need not to forget that trademark rights are granted only after official registration. So you cannot enforce if you didn't register that. There are still some countries like the US where you can have some common law rights to trademarks, but it's really not so many countries. So if you want to have a trademark, you need to register that. And then you will have this protection for the name, logo, slogan, as we already discussed. You can also enforce your rights. And the field of enforcement can be anywhere. Also, when you are dealing with some fake NFT collections, and I will give you the example today. Then trademark, there is no possibility to have the trademark registered everywhere. And protection is limited to the country or region of countries. And of course, what it gives to you. So if you don't have the registration, then third parties, for example, your former partners, they can register the mark in bad faith. Or also in some countries, if you need to advertise certain type of products, you need to have the registration of the trademark. Also, if you need to have the domain name in specific area registered, for example, if you want to have, let's say, scream.ua domain, you need to have a trademark registered in Ukraine. So this is basic idea about that. In terms of practical tools for you, I prepared this slide and I think it will be quite useful. So on the left side, you can see the databases. For example, if you are creating some project, given the name to that, you can also see if this name is already used somewhere in the world. So this is the bases that you can also scroll, and there is the search system and you can have a look. In terms of the way of registration, it can be possible to make trademark registration through national system. For example, if you want to have the registration, let's say, in some of the country of the EU, in Germany, you can go and file the trademark there. Or if you, there can be also regional registration. For example, you can cover the EU 27 countries at the same time. Or another possibility is to have the international registration. So you have to file the trademark on some basic implication in one country, and you can pick what countries you are interested to cover. Of course, everything is have quite expensive fees, official fees, and as more countries as you pick up, it will be, of course, more expensive. This is just the general information how we distinguish EU trademark and international registration, and one of the examples is actually EUTM. So you see the football club here, one of the logos they use, also for virtual world. And in terms of the practice, so if you are having the trademark registration, you can also enforce your rights in Web3 world. So this is very a big case, actually, and landmark decision, where MS filed the claim in the US against one of the developers who created the NFT collection and called it Meta Birkin. And we know that Birkin is quite expensive bag by Hermes. So still the case is ongoing, and we are, as special lawyers, are very much looking forward to see how it unfolds. Talking about IP, we need not to forget to talk about copyright. So we already discussed what is the trademark. Now, what is the copyright? Copyright protects original literary artistical work, but only intangible expression. What does it mean? So we cannot protect by copyright the idea we have in mind. We need to have this work somewhere written or the code created, right? So we need to have the tangible form. Then the term of protection is different from country to country, but mainly this is during the whole life of the author and plus 70 years after his or her death. Copyright has two main like spheres. It's moral rights, so the rights of the authorship, and also economic rights, the right of reproduction, distribution, so on and so forth. As I already told you, source code is also protected as a copyright. This is a very good example, actually. So when we are talking about NFT, what exactly NFT means? We know that NFT is like, if you own the NFT, you own a token, right? So you don't own the artwork itself. So because you own just the specific code, like we see in the Banksy work. Therefore, NFT as the code, I mean the metadata, it's just cannot be registered by copyright, but the underlying context, like the work itself, either it's an art, picture, music, or logo, it can be registered if it meets standard requirements. We already talked about originality and tangible form. Most platforms only grant a license to display the digital asset, and copyright, so economic rights, are rarely transferred. And again, I will show you the example. This is actually one of our clients. This information is official because we represent them in trademark matters, and it's open for use, so you can see that. When we buy NFT, we need to always look at the terms of a condition. So what we exactly buy, what we acquire. And the first paragraph, you can see that if you purchase an NFT, it means that you own it completely. But then if you look a little bit more, the main idea is that you can use this NFT only for the following purposes. So you need to read what you buy, and you really need to look into terms of conditions. Like here, for example, there was also a very interesting case. We all know this famous artist, Jean-Michel Basquiat, and although he already dead, but his copyright still exists because 70 years after his death has not passed yet. And at some platform, there was the work, which was like a digital asset, an NFT. It was sold. But estate of Jean-Michel Basquiat still protects heavily copyrights, and they claimed this work, like this digital asset, because there were no copyright, there were no rights transferred, so they claimed that this NFT to be withdrawn from the sale, which happened. So I tried to do the best, and I'm very open to the questions. I hope that at least the basic information was helpful for you.
Yes, thank you, Ganna. Thank you very much. You know, you are the only person who added captions under the pictures, the source from which the picture was taken. I guess it's very funny, taking into account your topic.
It's professional deformation, you know.
Yeah, I really like it, actually. Yes, thank you. So we have a question for you from our audience. So what are the first steps to protect a Web3 brand? So maybe key points from what they need to start and how to finish to protect their brand.
Yeah, great question, actually. So if we're talking about brand, we mainly talk about either trademark or the copyright. So, but mainly brand is actually the name. If it is the name, look to my presentation a little bit further, because I think that you all will have the possibility to see it, to watch it on YouTube. If you created some name, try to see if there is any other person in the world who already owns similar or the same. So you have the specific basis and for that, so you can check it. Then you need to understand what are the key markets for you, because you don't have the possibility to protect everywhere because it's quite expensive. So you need to think about key markets. Either it will be Latin American countries, LATAM, or the US or Europe, and then start protecting your rights with filing the trademark for registration in the specific country. And then if you will be expanding your business to other countries, like to Asia, for example, you can also protect your rights there. So do like step by step, because sometimes it's quite, quite a hurdle to cover everything. But yeah, so the main idea is just to start step by step.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you, Ganna. I guess you can close your presentation. Oh, but by the way, one question from the participants. It's not really connected with the topic of presentation, but the question is, how can I become a successful fintech lawyer? I want to ask you this question as to my colleague. So people ask how to to be a successful lawyer.
The answer is very easy. If you really love what you do, you can be successful in every field. And the thing is that I'm working here in IP 20 years, and I still love it every single day. When I talk to you, I have even goosebumps. I'm seriously. So if you want to be a fintech lawyer, just look what other fintech lawyers are doing, where they study, what the projects they're dealing with. And there are also lots of different organizations where you can be a part of, so you can realize yourself as more as possible, because the sky is the limit.
Oh, thank you. It's very inspiring, Thank you very much. So I guess that's it for today. Thank you everyone for joining us today. We hope that our webinar was insightful and valuable. A big thank to our speakers for sharing their expertise, and to each of you for your time and participation. If you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to us after the session. You can just press the button with the contacts, and we will keep in touch with you. Also, as I mentioned, we will send a recording of this video to everyone who registered. And besides, we will send you the contact details of all of other today's speakers. And if you want to get advice, consultations, whatever, feel free to contact them.